All right, everybody, for the latest and greatest. Everybody's look. I know I'm gonna be looking at my computer screen, but anyway, what I was wanting to get at. I know it's late later in the afternoon, but I don't know. I started to get up this morning, but man, they was talking about all this snow, 4 to 8 inches, and cold, and I thought they ain't cranking them no diesel engines right now. So we didn't get out and do nothing today, and now we're sitting here. I'm looking out the window and I'm watching it snow, and it's not heavy right now, but it's just light snow, and it's been light snowing for the past about the hour over in Fayetteville area and north up on the Missouri-Arkansas state line. They've been getting quite a bit, so I ain't gonna say it's messy up there. It's probably nice because it's been cold. But anyway, so everybody's on the gold kick. We're talking about all these flights that are coming in from London and Europe, bringing all this gold in, and people wonder why things happen. Well, I'm gonna read a little report from January the 26th of this year, 2025, from Investopia.com, and it's going to explain a little bit, along with my little bit of knowledge that I have about what's been going on with gold. A lot of people have forgotten that there was, I think it was $500 billion worth of gold that was in the basement of the World Trade Towers. People forget things real easy, or they born maybe around that time or a little later and just haven't been taught these things. But all this stuff that's happening, like I said, it's all by design. It's all planned. And what do you think is going to happen whenever, if they do this audit on Fort Knox and they go in there and they find out that there's not 8,100, what is it? Let me look at this report right quick. 8,133.46 tons of gold. What do you think is going to happen when they go in there and audit and all that gold is not there, or there's a good majority of it missing? What do you think these other countries that swapped gold at, I forget when it was, but over, I guess after the 70s, that all these countries that swapped gold for American currency, what do you think they're going to do when they find out that gold ain't there? That dollar's fixing to get dumped. That's right. Because the bankers, what had happened decades ago. Hold on just a second. Do what? Do what? I apologize. I had to go check something right quick. But anyway, decades ago, countries started trading America gold for American currency. So print. All right. Now, even before that, what bankers done, bankers took in gold. People would bring the bankers their gold, and they would issue IOUs, notes, against a certain amount of gold. So got to where the banker was like, you know what, these people don't know how much gold we've got, so let's just issue out more notes, which makes it basically created more debt from the consumer to the banker, making the bankers rich. Well, the bankers didn't have enough gold to back it up, so there they are. That's what's fixing to happen if they do this. Facebook, I don't know why it does it. Anyway, my signal goes in and out. And that stupid dog. You know that boxers, any of y'all got any experience with boxers? They are the most retarded, absolutely retarded. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So that's what's going to happen whenever these countries that have been exchanging gold for American currency, they're going to find out if this audit shows that it's not there. It's fixing to be trouble. There's a storm. We're in the middle of a storm. Kentucky right now is flooded. Snowstorm coming in right now. Logistics is going to be a nightmare. I forget how many flights they've been talking about coming in daily, bringing gold from London and Europe. bringing it in here. Guess they're trying to replenish the supply or put it all in there so they can get a photo op and say, yeah, hey, it's all here. They finna find out it ain't all there. All right, so I'm going to look up on my computer screen for a minute, and I want to read this to you. Investopia.com. So, the United States holds the world's largest stockpile of gold reserves by a considerable margin. The country's government, the United States government, holds as much gold reserves as 3 other countries in their entirety: France, Germany, and Italy. The United States has more gold than all 3 of them put together. So the United States is the largest, we'll say, depositor of gold at 8,133.46 tons of gold. Now, right now, gold's at $2,900 an ounce. Adam, you watching? You do the math on that. 8,100 tons times divided by 16 ounce, divided by 8,100 tons times 2,000 pounds divided by 16 ounces. I ain't doing that math. That's a lot of doggone gold. And I guarantee you, we ain't got it. We ain't got a building big enough to hold that much gold, I don't think. Each bar weighs like 27 pounds. My goodness, I ain't got a calculator at my availability right now, or at my immediate disposal right now. 8,100 tons, 27-pound bars. How much room you got to house all that? I don't think they've got it. We've been housing it all over the place. Not the New York Stock Exchange, but the New York, in New York, I think. Of course, we had it in the basement of the World Trade Center. We were housing it there. Fort Knox, they were housing it. I don't know where all it was housed. I'm not astute on all of that. But I do know this. United States is supposed to have 8,133 tons of gold. During the height of the Bretton Woods International Exchange System, when the U.S. offered to house, listen to this, when the U.S. offered during the Bretton Woods, Bretton Woods International Exchange System, the U.S. offered to house and protect other countries' gold, just like I was saying, other countries' gold in exchange for dollars. And it was reported that between 90 and 95% of the entire world's gold reserves lay in American vaults. 90 to 95% of the world's, that's WORLDS. 90 to 95% of the entire world's gold reserves lay in American vaults. You want to know what this audit's fixing to do? It's fixing to show the world that we ain't got it. It's gone. It's been gone. We know this. Gary, I appreciate you coming on and watching. You're an old hand, and you know just as well as anybody, we don't have that gold on hand. That stuff was, whatever happened to it, and it's been gone for quite some time, especially as recently as 1991. So, decades later, the U.S. still holds the most. Supposedly, we still hold the most. Gold makes up over 75% of our foreign reserves. Now, you think about this. Talking about the exchange for gold for notes, IOUs, when the banking system was first created. I'm gonna move my. Well, no, I ain't. I'm gonna leave it there because it's in a good place. But think about this: the United States revenue, or GDP, is $27 trillion. All right, our liability is $36 trillion. That's a lot of money, man. That is a lot of money. It's people talk about numbers, and some people deal with hundreds of dollars. Some people deal with thousands of dollars. Some people deal with hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some people deal with millions of dollars. Some people deal with billions of dollars. And some men deal with trillions of dollars. And the person down here on the every week-to-week paycheck that handles, let's say, anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 a week. We call that a measly salary. Somebody that handles that kind of money cannot appreciate the vast amount of numbers and the expanse between $1 billion and $1 trillion. And we're talking, oh man, just our national defense budget, $870 billion a year. $870 billion budget for our Department of Defense, and you've got a GDP of 27 trillion. It's astronomical. That number alone is astronomical. And when you're supposed to have 8,133.46 tons of gold on hand at 27 pounds per bar. Adam, did you do the math on that? How many bars that is? And just consider the space that bar takes up. I forget the measurements on a bar of gold. I know I think it's 27 pounds is what each gold bar weighs. And then I'd say maybe 3 by 6, 3 by 5, something like that. And think about the room that it would take to house that much gold. It ain't there. All these flights coming in from London and Europe right now, bringing in 2-3 tons of gold at a time. It's a race, I guess, because like I said, once these countries get eyes on the fact that gold is not at Fort Knox, and that gold ain't in the New York, New York Central Bank. When they find out that gold ain't there, all them countries are going to be saying, "Where's me gold?" I just did a TikTok video, and that's what I named it, "Where's me gold?" Because that's what these countries are going to be asking. They're going to be saying, wait a minute, we give you, let's just say, Tanzania or Nigeria or whatever. And they come and they say, hey, we give you like 863 tons of gold. Where's it at? We want our gold back. What's going to happen when these countries find out that we don't have their gold? And they're fixing to find out that we don't have their gold. We, being America, they're about to find out we don't have it. So what are they going to do? Well, I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to demand payment. They're going to demand it. And the way I see it, we're going to have to do one of two things. We're either going to have to say, you know what, we ain't got it, and Trump's going to have to be one hell of a deal maker, or we fixing to mount up and secure our borders against a world invasion. This ain't good. I mean, we played with other people, not only Americans' money, which it's not money, y'all. It's fiat. It's fictitious. It's a delusion. The monetary system, the fractional reserve system, is an absolute delusion. It's been a delusion since, like I said, way long time ago, when bankers realized that they could take in a little bit of money and issue a bunch of notes. Once they realized they could strap people with debt and write them IOUs against tangible currency like gold, silver, whatever it is, whatever precious metals they could back it with. Once they figured out they could just print notes and just keep and indebt more people to them, it was over. All right, it's been over a long time. So let me finish reading this report in Investopia.com. So, United States holds 8,133 tons. That's a lot. Makes up 90 to 95% of the entire world's gold reserves we're supposed to have here in America. Gold makes up 75% of America's foreign reserves. Do you know that Japan holds over $1.5 trillion worth of American bonds, U.S. bonds? That we owe Japan $1.5 trillion. That's what we owe. China is second. I think they're right at $1 trillion. There's 13 countries that hold U.S. debt, U.S. bonds, U.S. debt. So, financially, from a financial perspective, if these countries say, hey, we want our money, pay us, We want all our gold back. We're not going to be able to give it to them. That's where we're at right now. Y'all wonder why they're auditing all these entities? They're uncovering oh my goodness, so many decades of corruption. They're uncovering it. Anybody who works in politics or keeps their eyes on politics as it pertains to finance or budgets, GDPs, even local, Gary, in the county. I mean, the county has a budget. And I know the county has so many liabilities, and you got to have the revenue to cover that. And if you ain't got the revenue to cover it, then you're borrowing from somebody, somewhere, something. So whoever you borrowed from to cover your expenditures, then you got to pay them. And God forbid if they are operating in usury, which for the layman means interest. God forbid if they're charging you an interest on that debt, because now not only are you trying to pay for established expenditures, but now you have added a credit line from somewhere or somebody that you got to cover as well. You didn't have the money for that at first. Now you've even added more onto it. And debt is nothing but a perpetual downhill trip. That's it. Once you get behind, you find yourself borrowing and borrowing and borrowing and borrowing just to maintain. Hey, I know it all too well. I mean, I'm about 157 deep right now. That's 157,000. I'm 157 deep right now, and I mean, you got to wheel and deal to get it took care of, and it's just the way it is. And thank God, I've been able to get out of debt twice, or get out of debt and get back on top of things. And you're like, I ain't never doing that again. And then you do it again. And then you're like, well, here we are again. And it ain't easy. It's not easy. So, Germany has 3,300. This really doesn't matter to us, but I'm going to read it anyway. Germany has 3,351 tons of gold in their reserves. Supposedly. That's another thing. Supposedly, these countries have, America, Germany, Italy, France, supposedly they have all this gold on hand or in a secured facility. Supposedly. So, I wonder if they're just flying all this stuff right because, we hadn't had there hasn't been an audit on the Fort Knox since 72. Yeah, I think 1972 was the last time there was an audit on the Fort Knox. So, wonder if these countries, Italy, France, Germany, are all like, hey, we got to cover America's butt. Cover their arse. We've got to cover America's arse. So let's get this gold over there, get it in Fort Knox, let them do their little audit, and then we'll fly it all back wherever. I wonder if they're doing that. I would venture to say that's probably what's happening. So, Germany, 3,351 tons. 3,351 tons. Italy, 2,451 tons. France, 2,436 tons. So, why do countries hold gold reserves? Well, this will just be a little educational video today. Gold provided governments a way to back their fiat currency. It was a way, like I said, to take those notes, print those notes, hand them all out, and they could say, hey, here, I'm going to give you this note against a certain amount of gold that we've got in the vault. So people fell for it. And they're like, oh, this is worth gold. It was worth gold at one time, but then Nixon got us off of the gold standard and put us on the petrodollar. And now we've been but we've been printing and printing and printing this fiat currency. Gold provided governments with a way to back the value of their fiat currencies. Fiat basically means fake. Since the gold standard no longer applies, why do countries still hold gold reserves? There are a few reasons why gold remains in central bank vaults. Individual investors, governments need to diversify their portfolios. Holding different investment vehicles mitigates risk and ensures safety. Even though the gold standard is a thing of the past, many nations' governments still believe that holding gold provides some degree of stability to their currencies. Gold acts as a safeguard and hedge against inflation, which helps boost confidence in a nation's economy. Well, we just blew that out of the water, didn't we? This past 4 years, gold acting as a safeguard against inflation. You know, they've denied it. What they call it, retraction, that the economy was retracting whenever we had two quarters back to back that didn't gain more than 2% or were in the negative. We were actually in a recession, and they didn't want to admit it. They come up with another name for it. We've been in hyperinflation now for probably about 8.5 years. Hyperinflation. People wonder, they want to blame presidents. You want to blame Trump. You want to blame Obama. You want to blame Biden. You want to blame all these people for these high egg prices or high gas prices, whatever it is. You can't blame anybody but yourselves. We the people. The Constitution of the United States, the Declaration of Independence says, the preamble says, it starts off with these 3 words, we the people. What does that mean? That means that everything after that is the responsibility of we the people, or referring to we the people. The preamble, we the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, and provide domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, support the general welfare. All of those things are the responsibility of we the people. So to blame presidents, whether it be Obama, Clinton, Bush, Carter, it doesn't matter. Trump, you can't blame any of them. You know why? Because we the people delegated our responsibility to people who have gone unchecked for a long, long time. This president, with his administration, his executive administration, is exposing all these things, all right? Bringing it to the light so that we, the people, can take control and command our destinies once again as per the Constitution and our founding fathers intended to be so. So everybody all freaked out. They said, well, I hope you're glad you voted for Trump and what's happening. I hope you're glad. I hope you're happy. Yeah, I didn't vote for Trump, but I'm giddy about it. Because you know why? Because this system that has been in place, that has been absolutely enslaving every child born for the past 50 years in this country, is being demolished. It's being dismantled. It's being torn down from the inside out so that we, the people, can be put back in charge of our destiny, of our children's destiny, of our financial construct. We, the people. And it's going to be, we the people are going to have to take control again. That's the thing I said about Donald Trump's election. What Donald Trump's election did, or what his campaign did, and then his election, what it done is it put the power back in the hands of it actually promoted and provoked within the American population to take control of their country once again. That's what Trump did. That's what, not the man, but the idea. That's what the Trump idea did. That's what MAGA did, is it promoted within the individual American, it promoted within them that we are taking our country back. And they took the country back. As a majority, took it back. And that is where we are. With all these audits, with all these investigations, it's putting everything in perspective, it's bringing everything in perspective for the American people to be able to look at it and say, you know what, we're starting over. Iceland, I've quoted this many times, but Iceland done it. I think it was in 2004. Iceland basically said, you know what, our economy, our financial markets, everything is out of control. There's no way to fix it. Can't fix it. So they told all the bankers, they said, either fix it or you're going to jail. I think it was like four, I want to say it was 4 different bankers, big bankers. They actually arrested and put them in prison. But Iceland wiped the slate clean. They said, you know what? No more debt. Everybody in Iceland, every citizen of Iceland that has a debt, it is no longer zero. We're canceling all debt. They canceled all debt, mortgages, car payments, anything anybody had. They canceled the whole country's debt and they started over. And it didn't take a matter of, I think it was 4 years, and their GDP went back up to 4.7, just like that. They actually were a prosperous country because they zeroed out the debt. So that's where we are, you know, but people don't want that. People are like, oh my God, he's tearing up everything. He's destroying our economy. He's destroying the people's will. He's Maxine Waters. We don't know what they've got on us. Yep, it's all being dismantled, systematically dismantled. I mean systematically too, and it's a good thing. So, the power of the direction of our nation right now is being placed back in the hands of the people. Now, the conversation about what's going to happen whenever these countries find out that we don't have all this gold that we're supposed to have been facilitating against all these U.S. Treasury notes that we've been pumping out or digitizing, what's going to happen with that? It's a turkey shoot. I mean, we don't know. When these countries find out that we don't have their gold, just depends on how fast old Elon and them get into Fort Knox and New York Central Bank and do their audit. But they're fixing to find out that we don't have their gold. And that, my friend, I don't know what's going to happen. I could speculate. Like I said, we're either going to, you know, Trump's either going to look at them and say, you know what, we don't have your gold and we're starting over and you can either forgive all our debts or we ain't buying your crap no more. I mean, it's really fixing to be, things are about to be real bad. Going back to what I said about all them people on the other side saying, I hope you're happy. Yes, we are happy. We're very happy that the deep state is being destroyed, that this system that has been in place that has done nothing but enslaved our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren, this system that we're so happy that it's being destroyed. Absolutely 100%. I don't care. The tourism market, the doggone, everything. You know what? I preach a lot of times about gloom and doom and all that stuff, but I'm telling you, folks, it doesn't matter. If it all comes crumbling to the ground, we're going to be all right, okay? Don't worry about it. You're going to be fine, because ultimately, if you put your faith and trust in our God, the creator of all things, and in the fact that he sent his only begotten son into this world, that whosoever believe on him should not perish but have everlasting life, you're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. It doesn't matter. Your finances might be zero. Guess what? You know what's in my bank account right now? About $2. I'll be straight with you. I don't worry. There's nothing to worry about when you have the almighty creator of all things when you're on his side. It's all good, because he's able to keep that which I've committed unto him against that day of evil. What day of evil? Whatever day. Doesn't matter. Get into the Bible a little bit. Let's learn to live in the eternity. Let's not worry about it. Banks are big money. They won't sit back and go for this, I'm afraid. Oh, no, they're not. They're going to go down kicking and screaming. But you know what? It doesn't really matter, because they've been found out. And I don't want to get into the J conversation. And I say the J conversation. I don't know if everybody understands who I am alluding to when I say the J people. Surely you can put it together. But that's a whole other conversation. And ultimately, they are in charge of the banks, the J people. Whether people like it or not, they are absolutely in charge. Did y'all see the citation I put on Facebook today about the what is the name of the ethical capital holdings? I believe it's what it was. That and the founder of that, this what I'm talking about, this MindSeek, this ethical capital corporation, ethical. Listen to that word, ethical. That the man that founded it is actually a Jewish rabbi. And what does this company that this Jewish rabbi founded have total control of? I think it's not total, but 80 to 85% of the market. What does he control? This Jewish rabbi? The porn industry. That's right. PORN, Pornhub, and many others, Playboy. The ethical corporation. I shared it on my Facebook page. You can check it out. Go to my page, look at the information. But these J people that actually run the banks, that actually own the banks, yeah, you're right. They're not going to sit back and just take this. It's going to be bad, of course. But, you know, right now it seems that they're more afraid of the people and I guess, well, it doesn't matter if he's true. Well, we'll take that back. We know what a true J person is. The true J person is out of the tribe of Judah. Therefore, the term Jew. Judah, the tribe of Judah. But anyway, just like the Bible says, Book of Revelations, the 2nd chapter, 9th verse, 3rd chapter, 9th verse, that there are those who call themselves the J word, who are not the J word, but actually are of the synagogue of Satan. Those people hijacked the title and the title and the nationality of the Jew. The people that call themselves Jews, they actually hijacked it. They're not real. They're Ashkenazi Jew, Canaanites, Edomites. They're not really Jews. But anyway, like I said, I don't get into that conversation because ultimately they control the banks. And it seems right now that they're more afraid of the optics of not having the gold. For whatever reason, the people who really are in control, those Ashkenazi, Edomite, Canaanite, yeah, those people who are actually in control, they don't want to be exposed for some reason. Don't know why. I guess because their prophet and their Messiah is not on earth yet, the Antichrist, which a lot of people don't understand that. The people that most people say that you must support Israel or the Jew, you know that they will absolutely 100% coronate the Antichrist. Yes, sir, that's right. And the church, the actual church, American church, the Western church, will be the vehicle by which the Antichrist is promoted. Yes, sir. It's in the Word. It ain't hard to figure out. But back on the banking, this whole deal with the gold, for whatever reason, they're more scared. They're more afraid of the optics of not having the gold on hand. And I don't know. Maybe it's because they're not ready to implement their plan of world dominance. They want to stay in the shadows. There is coming a day whenever the Antichrist steps on the scene that they won't care. They'll kill every opponent that on the face of the earth. They don't care. Then, right now, for whatever reason, they do care. So anyway, that was my little rant. I think that it's about to get. Well, it ain't about to. I got to get off that because I've got on to people for saying that for the past week or so. People talk about it's coming, he's coming. Prepare yourselves, We're in the middle of it, folks. We are right smack dab in the middle of it, okay? This is happening. This is not future. I don't need no prophet to tell me, I see finances in the future. I see a better day. I see this. I see that. You ain't no seers. I don't need no seers and no prophets to be telling me what's coming. It's that gum plain and obvious what is happening. Not what's coming. It's obvious what is happening. And we're in the middle of it. So don't allow yourselves to be deceived by all these fake prophets and these fake seers that are out there literally prophesying off of Facebook. Yeah, Germany, that did happen. That's been maybe, I think it was during the COVID pandemic that happened. Germany demanded their gold, and they were told they'd had to wait. Well, it's just like the banks now. I mean, me and my wife and my mother-in-law was talking about it the other day that, you go to the bank now and you tell them, hey, I need to get $100,000. And they're like, oh, we're going to need about 7 to 11 days. I'll be like, nope, I want my money now. Well, reason they can't give it to you is because they ain't got it. Same with Germany. Whenever Germany wanted their gold, and I think there was some other countries too, Mr. Blake. There was some other countries as well that wanted their gold back, and they were told, hey, don't have to wait. It's a whole lot of red tape and a lot of paperwork and a lot of logistics involved in all this, so it's going to take some time. Yeah. Well, now it seems that they've made time. Matter of fact, let's look at this latest report that I was just reading about the movement and the shipping of this gold that's going on right now. It's off the charts as to how much gold that they are moving right as we speak. Right now, the gold that is being transferred. Let's just see if I can pull it up. Shipments of gold. I guarantee you Google's going to have something just bam, right up front page. JP Morgan, February the 1st. This was February the 1st on Fortune.com. JP Morgan plans 4 billion U.S. gold delivery amid tariff fears because of the tariffs. JP Morgan, 4 billion in U.S. gold they were planning on moving. Come on, man. Let me get off of that. And Fortune.com wants you to open up a account. No, I'm not doing that. Traders load, here we go, February the 3rd on supplychainbrain.com. All these pop-ups. Traders load U.S. bound planes with gold and Sirif in tariff bets. Tariffs. Imagine that. Because of these tariffs, these people started moving all this gold. There are those of us that put 1 and 1 together, and we can understand that equals 2. There are those of us that put these things together, and I'm just now looking at these tariffs. Makes you wonder why President Trump started talking about these tariffs. And then all of a sudden, JP Morgan and other traders start moving mass amounts of gold and silver. Over the last few months, February 3rd, 2025, over the last few months, sealed wooden boxes have been arriving in the holds of commercial flights from London to New York over the past few months since this whole talk about tariffs. Strapped up and tightly packed against tampering, when they land stateside, they are collected by trucks whose drivers generally don't know what they're hauling. This is absolutely hilarious. What's inside are stacks of silver bars that traders, fearing that tariffs from the U.S. government are imminent, are loading onto planes to rush to America. Gold is commonly flown between key global trading hubs, including London, New York, Zurich, Hong Kong, Shanghai. Cheaper, bulkier silver is typically sent by ship. But the Trump administration threats of tariffs have created unprecedented dislocations. U.S. silver futures have spiked more than $1 per ounce, making air freight viable and sending traders rushing to get metals into the U.S. before the new trade measures are announced. Kind of wild, huh? That was supplychainbrain.com, February the 3rd, earlier this month, 2025. 14 million ounces of gold worth $38 billion have flowed into the depositories of New York's COMEX futures exchange since the election day, along with 45 million ounces of silver. Since election day, 38 billion in gold have come in. Let's just see another report. That was supply chain brain. Mount Zion Historical Society.org. Let's see the date on this. The date on this was, this is an old article. We won't be looking at that one. We're looking at recent articles. 15 Fort Knox Bullion Depository, March 15th. So everything else goes back into March of 23, and then 20. Well, let's see here. No, I ain't gonna look at that. So yeah, that's kind of funny that all these, because of all this talk of tariffs, that all of a sudden these major players start moving all this gold. Man, like I said, we don't need no prophets. We don't need no seers. We don't need anybody telling us what is going on. We could literally just watch what people are doing, hear what Trump, Rand Paul, Elon Musk, whomever it may be. We can hear what these people are saying. Just like all this talk of like Maxine Waters saying we need to shut this down because we don't know what they've got on us. Literally, talk about fraudulent slip. I mean, honestly, just absolute 100% come out and say that I'm dirty. I mean, is that not what that says to you? Is that not what that says to you? She said, we don't know what they've got on us. So, with all this stuff coming out, Kash Patel, it's on now. Kash Patel is the head of the FBI. Pam Bondi, already about, honestly, this far. I don't know if y'all can see that. That's about the width of a hair. Already about that far away from making major arrests. Even governors. That's right. Even governors getting arrested. Mayors, governors, it doesn't matter. These people who are getting in the way of law, real law and justice, and people can hate. I don't got no problem with it. You can hate. I don't care. It doesn't matter. We are glad that this system is being brought down, just being absolutely systematically destroyed. We are glad. We are glad of it. If it affects your finances, if it affects your food pantry, you know what? We've been telling y'all this for 4 straight years to get ready for what is going to happen. We're in the middle of it. So now, if your finances are affected or your doggone pantry is getting empty, then it's your own fault. We've been telling you. We've been telling this for 4 years, and everybody's been, it's just another day. Just like the Bible said in, I think it's 2 Peter, he said, for in the last days scoffers will come, saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the beginning of time, our fathers have spoken, said he's coming here, he's coming then. That's paraphrasing, but that's basically what's been going on for 4 years. People have been dismissing. There's one in Michigan that needs an ocean view from Guantanamo. She's probably, honestly, Pam Bondi is already, I want to say just short of an arrest warrant on Kathy Holcomb, the governor of New York. So, Ms. Whitmer, I ain't heard nothing out of her. She's probably keeping her mouth shut for a reason too. I mean, they're all getting exposed. But back what I was saying, I mean, if what's going on right now affects you financially, personally, food pantry wise, whatever, it's your own fault. Because I know I've been telling people for almost 4 years, canned goods, get chickens in your yard, get your doggone barns built, get your root cellar, whatever. I've been telling people for years. So here we are. And if people are affected by it, you're getting no sympathy from me. Ain't no different than a drunk driver to me. You get told not to drive drunk, and then something bad happens. Well, you get no sympathy. None. You were told. I'm going to pray for you. And I'm going to even give you a can of beans if you need it. But I'm not going to sympathize. I'm not going to do it. Just think, we've been preaching about the 5 wise and the 5 foolish virgins. This has been a common message among preachers, among real preachers. The 5 foolish and 5 wise virgins being ready, because when the bridegroom comes and you ain't ready, when trouble comes and you ain't ready, and the door is shut, and you go banging on the door wanting in, he's going to say, I don't know you. Go away. It's too late. And that's where we're at right now. Where we are right this minute. If you are not prepared right this minute for what is happening, this whole system, our economic system, our financial system, political system, religious, it's all coming down. Every bit of it, it's coming down. If you are listening to my voice right this minute, and you're just saying, well, and you're not really hearing what I'm saying, and you're not taking it to heart, to the point that you're saying, I've got to get my ass ready. If you're not in that kind of mindset, then the door's about to be shut. It's probably already shut for a lot of people, and they just don't know it. Honestly, a lot of people just don't know it. The husbandman sent out first his son to invite everybody to the dinner, to supper, and said they abused him, and they did what they would with him. And I'm mixing 2 stories there together, but I'm trying to get a point across that whenever the voice is speaking, that God is speaking through his voices. I'm not going to say it's prophets, because we don't need prophets to say all this, but maybe people are operating in the office of a prophet. That's fine. But when God is speaking his word to a people, and those people refuse to prepare themselves, just like the 5 wise virgins did, having their lamps full of oil and having extra oil, that way when the bridegroom came at an hour they did not know, they were ready no matter what. Well, here we are. Mayors, governors, attorneys general, law enforcement officers, sheriffs, chiefs of police, everybody. Parsons, is that what they call them? Parsons? Ministers, priests, whatever you want to call them, pastors, politicians, representatives, senators, it does not matter. It's all, listen to me, it's all being brought low to the sides of the pit. It's all coming down right now. The financial sector, banking, loan officers, these people, there are people, they have been enriching themselves. They have been feeding themselves. They have been filling their bellies. They have been filling their pockets. They have been building their homes. They have been amassing to themselves wealth beyond imagination. And it's all coming down right now. And you better listen to me. You better get your daggum pantry full of food. You better get some chickens in your yard. You're going to say, well, what? Well, people going to come try to steal it. That's right. They may. And you may have to defend yourself and your home. And you may have to defend your supplies. You may have to defend yourself. Imagine that. You may have to take a responsibility for policing your own community. Imagine that. We the people having to, what do they call it? We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, and provide domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense. Imagine that. We the people having to provide for our common defense. Protecting our own neighborhoods, protecting our own food supplies, protecting our own neighbors. Imagine that. We can't call or trust the daggum law enforcement officers to do so. They won't arrive in time anyway. It doesn't matter. You better listen to what I'm saying. Everybody, anybody that's got the mindset that it's just this gonna pass, everything's gonna be fine. I'm gonna say this, and don't take me wrong. Trump's gonna fix it. But the problem is you don't understand what he's going to have to do to fix it. A lot of people think it's just going to be fixed and we're going to be okay. It's going to be fine. He's going to fix it. We ain't got to worry about it. No, he's going to fix it where you have to worry about it. It is it's our responsibility. 3 words. We the people. In order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, and provide domestic tranquility, that's our responsibility. All Trump's doing is what the executive branch should do. He's cleaning this mess up, getting rid of all the red tape, making straight the path for the American people to be able to be the, how do you say it? There was an eloquent word that people use, to be, we'll just say, the lords over their destiny. He's clearing the path. He's getting rid of all the red tape. He's exposing all the corruption. He's exposing all the evils. He's exposing all the corrupt, crooked people and getting them out of the way. They're running scared. Have y'all seen the doggone housing market in Virginia and Washington, D.C.? Have y'all took a look at the housing market? I watch real estate like a hawk. 14,000 plus homes went on the market in 3 days. If you don't understand real estate, you can't understand the gravity of what I just said. 14,000 homes in an MLS. That is absolute. That's like saying that this guy's got $1,000 and this guy's got $1 billion. That's how big of a number that is in the real estate market. I mean, you see 250 something houses, 250 on an MLS, 250, 600, 1,000 houses, maybe 2,000 houses popping up on the MLS in a matter of a week. But when you see 14,000 homes popping up on an MLS in a week's time, you better believe there's something happening. Washington, D.C., over 14,000 homes hit the market. These people are fleeing. They are running. These people are literally, they're probably leaving their gun furniture and their clothes. they probably left the teapot on, getting out of there so fast. That's how quick all this is coming down. But the average American person doesn't understand it and doesn't realize it, because they're like, well, you know, get up and go to work and go about my business, drink my beers, you know, go watch a race, da. That's the average American person. Have absolutely no idea what's going on. That's why the Bible talks about that when the thief comes, that day comes, that it will come on people like a thief in the night. They'll be like sitting there just doing their thing, and then boom, the world has gone to hell in a handbasket and everything's on fire, and they're like, what the hell happened? Well, you wasn't watching and you wasn't listening. You were too busy being dismissive and saying, well, all things are going to continue as they were. Nothing's different. There's nothing new under the sun, Brother Chuck. Everything's just going to keep on keeping on as it was. I know. I've been there. I remember what I was doing at 20 years old. I wasn't worried about the world or anything in it. I was worried about me. My line of thought went from my eyeballs to my penis. That was it. That was my line of thought. Care about nothing else. Anything in between here and here, drinking, partying, women, whatever. That's all I cared about. I cared about politics. I knew about it. I paid a little attention to it, but it did not dictate how I carried on about my life. I've been there, but I'm telling you now, I'm older now. I'm 56 years old now. And we are all older, and we had better pay attention to what's going on, because all them 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds out there, the majority of them aren't. They're not prepared for what is going to happen. I see, Terry, you're on here. Terry, Jimmy, I don't know who all's on here. Oh, look now, Jimmy, Terry, oh, y'all like me, y'all old hands. Robert, who else we got? Pam. There was some other names. My mama was. I think Mama's still on here. Mr. Deaton, you and Mama definitely older hands. Y'all done seen a bit. I don't know if y'all still on here. Jimmy Luttrell, Jimmy McGee, my buddy Adam P. Reed. All of us have seen what's 50 years? half a century. All of us have seen a half a century plus. And we know how we were. All right. You need somebody that's prepared. And those of us who are older now, wiser, and have a little bit of knowledge under our belt, it's up to us to take care of these young folks, because our society as a whole, and I'm looking at this from a military perspective that I've been involved with for 20 years now, from a military perspective, from a tradesman perspective, was involved in the trades first, they're going 15 years old to 35 in the trades. So from that perspective and those life experiences and that the wisdom that I gained and the knowledge from living that life as a tradesman, as in business, marketing, and military, and taking all that knowledge and looking, these kids nowadays are absolutely brainwashed, because they are 100% manipulated, and a majority of them are delusional. And what I mean by delusional is that they literally think that each day is theirs, that they're going to get up. We're closing the day out right now, okay? We're closing the day. Business. It's 4:00 Central Time. We're closing the day. And the majority of these younger adults now, this is how they think. Oh, getting off work, go and pick up the kids, going to spin class or cheerleading, or I don't even know what's going on right now. Whatever sport's going on, or they're just involved with so many activities, absolutely distracted from the reality of the trouble and the potential hazards that are surrounding them right now. You can look at how these young ladies, they go to Kroger and Walmart, and they go out to their car by themselves, not paying attention to nothing, probably got earbuds in or looking at their phone and get knocked in the head and thrown in the car. That's the pretty much the attitude and the state of mind that our young adults are in, pertaining to the world and its activities as a whole. They have no care about what's going on in Ukraine. They don't care about what's going on in Guatemala or Nigeria, or the effects that it has, or the effects that the gold situation is going to have on world relations betwixt countries, or the fact that Mexico has now ordered to deploy 10,000 Mexican military and allow special forces from the United States to enter into Mexico to root out cartel members. They don't realize that there's a damn war, a bloody war that is going on right now on our border. They need us. They need us to be cognizant of all these things. They need us to be speaking about these things. They need us to be telling them and warning them and preparing them and keeping them cognizant of these things, because the majority of them are sitting around watching TV. They don't care. They're preparing for tomorrow, and today ain't even over. And they're already prepared for tomorrow, thinking they're going to have it tomorrow. This is the message I'm trying to get across. I'm not trying to be a prophet of doom or somebody that's just full of worry and doubt and fear. No, I'm not. I live in the eternal. I am seated with Christ in the heavenly places. I have no apprehension about anything that goes on in this world. I've been to war. I've seen it. I've lived through it. I mean, it's, call me, you could say I'm different from a lot of people, which I am. There's a lot of us that are. But most of us are the same. And those of us that are, like I said, half a century old and older, they need us. We need each other. But most importantly, these young adults and these kids need us. They need to know history. They need to know, hey, this happened before, and this is what happened. It's happening now, and this is what's going to happen. Going back to what I said earlier about I don't need no prophet. I can look at history, and I can say, well, that right there happened, and this was the result of it. So if it's happening now, then this will probably be the result of it. They don't know this. Go up to the average young adult now. What does it say? My son, 34, 35-year-old. Go up to the average adult, 34, 35-year-old, and ask them about what happened the day after the attacks on the Twin Towers, September 11th of 2001. Ask them what happened the day after. Ask them about the results of the 9/11 commission. Ask them about the results of it. Ask them about Benghazi. Ask them about, Lord have mercy, the Iran-Contra, arms, what else? Just ask them anything recently about history. When I was in Iraq, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to quit. But when I was in Iraq in 2009 and 2010, you have, in some units, you have first sergeants and sergeant majors that really, we'll say they like, it's their thing, current events. Sometimes it's first sergeant, sometimes it's sergeant major. Sergeant majors don't come around too much, but when they do come around, they're going to be asking you questions. How you doing, buddy? Is your commander taking good care of you? Have you got everything you need? How's training? How's the job performance going? Is everything good with your comrades? You know, you comfortable? You got good living arrangements? They ask you all these questions, but sometimes they ask you, what do you know about what's going on in Nigeria? And then you're standing there like, the majority of these kids, they're standing there like, so I don't know, Sergeant Major, what's happening in Nigeria. And Sergeant Major said, that's good, buddy. You take care. And he goes and sees the first sergeant. Or he wants to talk to the platoon sergeants. First sergeants are like that. But anyway, 2009, 2010, I'm going to mention his name because I like the guy. First Sergeant Charles Scarborough. I really respect it. I mean, everybody has their day, and everybody, we all don't get it right. But First Sergeant Scarborough and Chief McConnell, I respect them. Two very, very intelligent, very informed, very cognizant, very observant individuals. And First Sergeant Scarborough, that was his thing, was current events. So I told my guys, I said, look, I know y'all don't care anything about what's going on in the world and what's happening, this, that, about news and this, that. All y'all care about spraying each other's arms with that gum computer cleaners and online gaming. And I mean, they were just wrapped up in them, just pretty much themselves. That's the majority of your troops. They're self-consumed, period. Self-consumed, and the most self-consumed people you ever meet in your life. And even it gets to the point they're so consumed with themselves training, they don't know how to do their job. And then whenever you try to train them on their job, they're like, man, this is boring. It's your job, dummy. You're defending a nation. So anyway, First Sergeant Scarborough's thing was current events. So I told my guys, I said, look, when you go to the board, First Sergeant Scarborough's going to be on the board. Him, Captain Ridgel, a couple of the E7s was going to be on the board. And I said, and I'm telling you right now, the most important thing you can do on that board is to know the soldier's creed, be able to recite it without stuttering or stumbling, and know current events. It don't take much to know what happened yesterday. All you gotta do is just watch the news for 30 minutes and you get everything that happened. And it's not hard, but if you don't maintain a constant vigil of taking in current events, then you could easily forget them. But as long as you could you could zero in on points of the news. That was fine. But anyway, First Sergeant Scarborough was going to ask about current events. What do you know about what happened in Iran yesterday? And them guys, they'd come out with their heads down. They failed the board. They'd always fail it because they didn't know current events. My point is this: 2009, 2010, I told my guys, you've got to pay attention to what the heck is going on in the world around you. You don't just need to know in order to pass a board. You need to know. That way you are prepared each and every day for the potential of it affecting you personally. And that's where these kids are at. These young adults are right now. They're not ready. They don't know nothing about what happened yesterday. Go up to any one of them. Pick one out this afternoon or even tomorrow if you got tomorrow. Pick one out. Go up and ask them, hey, what do you know about what's happening in Ukraine? What do you know about what's happening in Mexico? They won't be able to answer you because they're self-consumed. 5 foolish virgins. Whenever the bridegroom came, they didn't have any oil. All their lamps were all burnt out. They didn't have any oil, and they were trying to borrow some from the other virgins, the wise virgins. And the wise virgin said, if we give you any, then we won't have enough for ourselves. You have to go into town and try to buy some. And while they were gone, the bridegroom came, brought them all into the wedding feast, closed the door. When the foolish one showed back up, the door was shut, beat on the door, and said, Lord, let us in. We were here. But we had to go get oil. Nope, don't know you. Go away. That's where we're at right now. That's exactly where we're at. You need to get your pantry full. I don't care if you go to Save-A-Lot right now and you buy 5 cases of canned goods. You better get ready, because what is happening right now, there's no telling how far this is going to go. Economically, financially, infrastructure. There is no telling how far this is going to go. How many planes have crashed over the past 2 weeks? I can tell you, it's been 1 a day. Plane crashes. There's usually, out of 27,000 flights, a rare technical problem out of every 27,000 flights. Things are happening. Ohio, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, Tennessee, all flooded right now. Flooded. Being destroyed. Bridges, roads. Earthquakes. Have you paid attention to them? An earthquake in North Jackson, directly in North Jackson, 2.3, 2.4, in North Jackson. Now, Cairo, Illinois, Missouri Boot Hill, yeah, understandable. North Jackson, the epicenter. Look at the USGS. See what's going on. These storms, these earthquakes, volcanoes. Look at the activity of volcanoes. Active volcanoes right now. Active. You need to be paying attention, because all this stuff just ain't happening. Yeah, the Bible said that there ain't nothing that's happening that hasn't ever happened. But you need to look at the results. When those things start happening, what were the consequences of ignoring them? Or what was the result of those things happening? What happened after? You don't need a prophet. All you need is to read the Word of God and to pay attention to what's going on in the world and the world around you. And quit sticking your head in this phone or this computer or whatever it may be and shutting out the world, because shutting it out and not paying attention, well, we're all going to die. You know, sooner or later, we're all going to die. Yeah. We sure are. But the Bible says that all those who reject truth, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He said, all those who reject me, reject the Father that sent me. And if you reject him, he rejects you. So all these people that reject truth, that say, I just don't want to know. I'd rather not know. Rejecting truth. Rejecting turning it away when the door shuts and you're on the other side, beating on it trying to get in and you can't get in. It's too late. That's all I'm saying. It's too late. So all this is going on. You better pay attention and you better get ready. Fill up your pantries. Some of you got your chickens. Fill up your pantries and get ready. Because what if that dark day comes and the lights go out? Movies have displayed such things happening. Mass Arctic blasts, shutting down power grids. Governor's already been telling people get ready because what's happening. You seen the radar on this? My goodness, let me pull this thing up. I'm gonna show it to you and then I'm gonna get off here. It's time for me to get off. I could stay on here all day talking about this stuff because I want to warn everybody. I want everybody to be ready. But I want to show you something right quick. And this is the first one. No, this is the second one. We got 3 storms coming across America this week. So right now, you've got, let's see, right now we've got single to negative 13 degrees in Amarillo, Texas. 8 degrees Fahrenheit right now in Amarillo, right this moment. Now, let's go back. Let's go to where I'm at, right there, and it's just 31 here. Not too bad. That's in Little Rock. We're going to get up to 12 inches predicted to snow. Let's go to a warmer climate of Midland, Texas. It's 36 degrees in Midland. So, I want to read the report on the National Weather Service. Right now, dangerous, and you know they don't use these words loosely, right? Dangerous cold plunging through in the central U.S. Now, it says central. It meant central. We're talking about from dangum the border of the north border of Canada, Montana, and Idaho. From there, all the way over into Wisconsin, and then all the way down into Austin, Texas, the whole central part of the United States. What does it say? Let me finish it up. The whole central part of the United States. Heavy snow from the Central Plains to the southern mid-Atlantic. An Arctic air mass will continue to plunge south through the central U.S. this week. This is Tuesday. With widespread record-breaking cold. Sub-freezing temperatures are likely to reach as far south as the Gulf Coast. Heavy snow will move from the Rockies this morning across the Central Plains and Ozarks. Well, we're already here. It's still snowing outside, and this has been a light snow, and we're already covered. Heavy snow will move through the Rockies this morning across the Central Plains and Ozarks, Tennessee Valley, North Carolina, into the southern mid-Atlantic states until tomorrow night. Yeah. Let me finish this up. All right. Winter storm to track from the Central Plains to the mid-Mississippi Valley today through tonight before impacting the southern mid-Atlantic on Wednesday with accumulating snow and areas of sleet and freezing rain. Record cold temperatures and dangerously cold wind chills to spill further southward into the plains with below average temperatures spanning across much of the east. Next round of mountain snow and lower elevation rain expected to affect the Pacific Northwest and Northern Rockies Wednesday into Thursday. So that's the second round coming through that we're going to get. This is the first one, or this is actually the second one. There was going to be 3 this week. A large pool of Arctic air continues to advance farther south into the midsection of the country, especially through the Lone Star State. We're talking about deep, deep freezes, negative temperatures, sub-Arctic. Temperatures are extremely cold behind the front and ahead of a 1,050 megabar high pressure dominating the central part of the country. Temperatures as of this afternoon are below zero as far as southern Oklahoma. Below zero. That's coming across my area, north central Arkansas, and into West Tennessee. We're expected below zero as far as southern Oklahoma and in the 20s in northern Texas. In addition to the cold, snowfall is going across the plains. Will spread eastward throughout the day for the Tennessee and Ohio valleys. High chance of seeing 4 to 8 inches with some locally higher amounts. And what is that? You read it and you think, well, it's just snow, whatever. But think about it. The problem is how this affects our infrastructure and the load that it puts on our infrastructure, especially that of our electrical grid. Now, bear this in mind. I'm not trying to spread fear or nothing, but bear this in mind. We were warned about a year ago, and it happened before a year ago, but in 2017 is when they started transporting them. But right now there are over 438 transfer switches. There are I think there's somewhere around 432 or 438 transfer switches in America that are controlled by China. They are Chinese controlled. They can be accessed by Chinese software. They can be accessed, that are in and control the electrical grid in America. Canada's pretty pissed too right now. Hot. All this tariff talk. They're already talking about cutting off energy to Wisconsin and Michigan and New York. But with all this cold weather and all these potential risks that we have, how would you survive this cold weather? You know how many people this is affecting right now? We're talking about 20% of our nation's footprint, 20% of our country being affected right now, 25%. Now, as it goes along, you're talking about, like I said, Tennessee, Ohio, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, all right now flooded. Floods. Now we got sub-freezing or subarctic weather, air, temperatures coming in, snow. This is crazy what's going on. But we choose not to believe it. We just choose to say, oh, it's just another day. It'll all be over and summertime be here and we'll all be in shorts. Maybe. Well, I left you with that. I mean, prophet of doom, what can I say? But you need to pay attention. Tell it to these kids. Get your house in order. Be ready, no matter what, because the bridegroom cometh at an hour that you know not. The bridegroom cometh at an hour you know not. Well, I'm glad that I was able to scare everybody and spend what little time I spent with you today. Glad that you hung on and hung out and hanged in. Tell everybody you love. Jesus is coming. That soon we shall see him. Oh, to look upon his face. Well, I love you, and I mean it. Have a blessed day.